Fred. All right.
Fred.
Wait, it's not good.
What you think, Fred? All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while.
Every now and then we'll kind of
He was already here right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Open Book here on Game On Wisconsin. Here, as always, Zach and Jen joining me at the end of the regular season. I cannot believe we are already here. It's a little bit depressing if you think about it, but it was a good season, so that's what's most important. But before we jump into that, how you both doing? Obviously, we'll start with Jen because that's just obvious.
We do that, but then, you know, you guys never actually get to say how you're doing. But
we'll get to that. We'll make sure.
Okay, we'll actually make sure that, you know, it's not just me. No, I'm good. I mean, yeah, we're not coming off of a win or anything this week, but we also don't have to play this week, which is super nice because they're number 1 seed. And yeah, it's a little bit de-stressing, I guess. You know, obviously there's a lot happening with the team, so having that bye is extra important. But yeah, I mean, hard not to be happy right now with the way things are going.
Yeah, I totally agree. Zach, how about you? How have you been? Very important question.
Thanks, Eli, for the sarcasm.
Yeah.
I've been good. I was good before I got into the StreamYard, and fucking both of you greeted me with this lack of energy. Both of you need. Where's the goddamn energy? We need life.
Zach acts like he joined the StreamYard like, all right, let's go,
joined
showtime. He joined and was just as relaxed as the rest of us.
In a state of confusion because I thought my mic was messed up, and then I saw Andrew sitting there looking all depressed, and you were sitting there looking all sad and depressed, and that isn't us.
I'm ready to go.
I guess that's just my resting face is just sad.
I rushed in here with about 30 seconds to go, so I had to build up my energy, but I'm here. I'm ready for a good show. Oh, thank you, Ben.
You're here. You're here for the first time as a married man. Well, as an engaged man. Close enough. It's the same thing.
It's close enough.
Same.
But yeah, thank you, Ben, and everyone else wishing me congratulations. It's a fun week, to say the least. I missed last week's show. I wanted to jump on right at the end of my little situation. Just didn't.
Eli.
This guy, you're getting engaged, Eli.
Eli's like at an engagement party, and he's gonna join on his phone, like, "Hey guys," like his like creepy Slenderman.
Because
join.
I mean, come on, we just came off, you know, a 37-10 win over the Vikings. There was a lot of good things to talk about, so I felt like I missed out a bit. But
no divisional number 1 seed clinching win is more important than the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, Eli.
That is very true.
Are you sucking up to her because you know that she watches every show?
No, absolutely not. I do. As one of Eli's brothers, I do have an obligation to make sure that she likes me as well. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's our future co-host-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Co-host-in-law, exactly.
She will be family.
Yeah, I'm sure is watching right now, and I'm sure she's very happy about all of this. But yeah, so as you can see,
oh shit, she's here.
Roger, I mean, Mariah, I don't know about that. Look, I do have a lot of love for Aaron Rodgers, but not that kind of love.
We did hear the story about how she could have taken a picture with Aaron Rodgers and didn't.
Yes, yeah,
but Eli still proposed, so he must really love her.
Yeah, went for Olivia Munn over Aaron Rodgers. A little bit painful, but I understand. You know, look, you gotta go for what you want. I know I went for what I wanted 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Either way, let's get to some football. And like Jen said, we're not coming off a win, but I don't think any of that really matters. I think what's most important is what we saw in the first half, which was mostly good football. And then we'll get to some of the injury news in a little bit. But just let's recap the Lions game real quick, and we'll first focus on the starters, and then we'll look a little bit at Jordan Love in the second half. But Zach, did you see everything you were hoping to see out of the starters in this game? And I wasn't on the show last week. What was your opinion? Should they have played? Should they have not have played? Where were you on that side?
Oh, I was 100% in favor of playing.
Zach
You want
was
those guys?
start to finish play.
Thank you.
Did I say start to finish? I didn't say start to
You
finish. did
said
I?
play the whole game.
I don't recall saying that. But either way,
I'm 90% sure you did.
well, there's still a 10%
No, you probably
chance
didn't.
that-
I probably just, making that up, but
Yeah. I wanted them. I figured you get a good number of snaps in. The big story, obviously, like with the offense, like Aaron Rodgers is going to come out sharp. Devante Adams is going to come out and do his thing. But the main story is obviously how David Bakhtiari holds up, and he played 27 snaps before coming out and heading directly into the blue medical tent. And everyone kind of like freaked out because he was followed by a trainer. But I think that was more so just like them seeing like,
it's
hey,
just like a
how you
standard
feeling?
evaluation.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, hey, how you feeling? You think you can keep going? But as Matt LaFleur said, he was just fatigued. And he
Like, he's
looked
not
like,
going to go out there and then like not get
and if you
medically
cut me
checked.
off one more time, I'm going to commit arson. Okay.
Might have to do it then.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, forgot where I was even going. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it.
Cut off. All right, arson. Talking about Bakhtiari, but yeah, I mean, I was a bit nervous.
Yes.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't skip a beat. He was coming out that first play in pass protection. He was moving well on his legs, and Aaron Rodgers, he had like more time in the pocket than I had seen like all season. Normally, their whole thing is like drop back, hit your first read. He's hitting guys right out of his drop, getting the ball out fast. But that first opening drive was like very out of character from the Aaron Rodgers we've seen the last couple of years. Like he was moving around in the pocket, he was extending plays. Yeah, he looked like I don't want to say he reverted back to the Mike McCarthy version of Aaron Rodgers, but with the whole off script type of thing. But he's extending the play, and that's obviously a good sign for his toe. Mm-hmm. Which he said today that he's as close to 100% as he can be, and next week he'll be at 100%. But yeah, with the starters, I mean, he went 14 of 18. You pretty much saw everything you wanted to see from them. I mean, there's really no complaints. Like this game, as far as I'm concerned, that game ended after Allen Lazard's touchdown, and the second the starters came
out. Yeah, his beautiful little. See, I think offensive wise, it was like what we expected to see, and it was nice to see like Bakhtiari and Myers get in there. But defense, I was a little bit more concerned just because it's like those are your starters, and they didn't look that great against the Lions, which is a little frustrating. But you also have to remember there was no Devante Campbell, which is obviously huge for that defense. But you just really hope that they can step it up because, I mean, Savage has just been kind of one of those guys that I really watch every game because he's been kind of a frustrating player. He can play better than he has been. But, yeah, there were just some things on that defense that I was like, I mean, I know this game doesn't really mean anything necessarily, but it's still those practice reps, if anything. And that was a little bit frustrating, but I'm sure that they'll probably be in a different mindset going into the playoffs.
So I'm glad you mentioned Devante Campbell because him not being there, I feel like flies under the radar, obviously, which is crazy because he's Devante freaking Campbell. But I mean, as far as like what he does for those other 10 guys, making sure that they're in their spots, they know what their assignments are, kind of, whatever he sees in front of him, he relays the communication to the rest of the guys. And that communication was such a big reason why the Packers were so good for like the first, 2 months of the season before they kind of, went downhill. But that not having that communication was a big factor. And I also feel like a lot of the guys on defense, as far as the starters go, I feel like they just kind of like checked out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they weren't playing meaningful regular season football. And obviously, it's different when you're talking about athletes. Like they're going full speed 24/7 all the time, regardless if it's a meaningless game or not. But in this case, I just feel like, they were kind of already looking ahead. They were looking away to this first round playoff bye. They were looking ahead to whoever they're going to play in the divisional round. And, I'm not putting a ton of stock in what we saw from the starting defense.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not. I think it's just, take those reps at 100%. Don't.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
Take it halfway. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're taking the rep, if you're going to have your stars out there, just have them play up to their potential. Well, don't go out there and let
I see both sides of it. Because, I mean, I definitely didn't love seeing 37 from the Lions, but at the same time, I do think as a defender, like you're just not when you know it's technically meaningless, and I think more importantly than it's meaningless, but you're at the end of the game, the most important thing is that you come out of it healthy. You're not going to go be trying to lay guys out, really putting in 110% effort on every single snap at the line, trying to beat the offensive lineman in front of you, risking any kind of injury at all. Like, I'm sure coaches were much more on top of them saying, I don't think anyone was saying, go out there and half-ass it, but get out of this game healthy. And I think outside of MVS having a back injury, I'm not sure if we've seen much of an update on that yet. I don't think anyone else had any kind of injury, which is obviously great to see. And so like you both said, I mean, the first half, the offense, Rodgers looked great. The offense looked great. I have no real concerns about that. And let's real quick talk about the new offensive line with Josh Myers coming back in. So it's looking like in the playoffs, barring a change, would be Bakhtiari, Runyon, Myers, Patrick, and then Turner or Kelly, depending if Turner's healthy, which is what I would have done. I would have, as good as Newman has gotten over the last month or two, I would have slid Patrick over, put Myers in at center. I'm happy they did that. Do you anticipate they stick with that for the playoffs, Jen?
I do wish there was a way to keep Yash on that line.
Yeah.
Just because he is so deserving of being out there. So I wish there was a way, if you could, like, I don't know his history with right tackle. I would have loved to have seen him maybe take some reps there against the Lions just to, maybe play it out. But yeah, I think
in college, I'm 99%. I'll check it out, but I'm 99% sure he did.
His senior season at Virginia Tech,
so,
he started every game at right tackle.
That could be something that you play around with too, depending on what's going on with Turner. Just because, Yash has been taking a lot of those reps this year, and he's obviously shown that he can play. So I don't know. It's hard to want to see him on the bench. Like, yeah, at one point, it's really nice to get Bakhtiari back, but I also hate not having Yash out there when I feel like he's better than some of the guys that are on that line.
Yeah, no, he's just been a great story to see to watch him grow this entire year, being a practice squad guy for the last year or two. But I mean, this is kind of interesting. I mean, Lucas Patrick has been good, so I don't think he needs to come out. But Dennis Kelly has been solid at tackle, and Billy Turner was originally signed to play right guard.
That would be a different question if they were playing this weekend. That would make it completely different because of Lucas Patrick going on the COVID list. Like, that would make it a very different conversation had they been playing this week. But number one seed, don't have to worry about it.
But would either of you prefer to see this alignment over Patrick? Okay. And then, all right, so that's that. But
shut that one down.
we know Lucas Patrick is going to be one of their starting 5 guys. Yeah. Matt LaFleur said as much. Like, that's a big time piece for them. And with that being said, that means you have to play him at center. Josh Myers goes to the bench, or you can move Patrick to left guard in place of John Runyon. But I think John Runyon isn't going anywhere. He's going to stay there. So you got David Bakhtiari, John Runyon, Josh Myers, pretty much what we named. You're going to have right guard Lucas Patrick, which sucks because Royce Newman the last month, maybe month and a half of the season, I mean, he's come on. He's gotten so much better than where he was at the beginning of the year. So it sucks sending a guy like that to the bench. Same with Yash Nyman. And at right tackle, if Billy Turner is healthy, you play him there at right tackle. For the last 2 years, he's been so good there.
It's so incredible to think, though, that behind our starting 5 that we saw on Sunday, and let's put Turner in at right tackle, to have Yash, Newman, and Kelly as depth. I mean, and there's more, but those 3 as your top 3 depth with a ton of versatility between the 3 of them, that's incredible. I don't think there's I don't know if there's a deeper offensive line group in the league. Again, Adam Stenovich, Luke Butkus, incredible job with what they've done with that whole room.
And maybe Yash Nyman has a future at right tackle next season after. Who knows?
Turner eventually becomes a possible cap casualty. Yash could end up at right tackle. And, I was actually going to do a bold prediction for this week, but I just didn't feel to risk it. But with the amount of offensive linemen they have and the cold weather in Green Bay, I think we could see a little offensive lineman eligible, A.J. Dillon in the backfield, let Yash slide out off one of the tackles, off a tight end position, catch a touchdown in the playoffs. That would be fun. We've seen some offensive linemen catch touchdowns.
Is that your prediction for the divisional round? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I'll say it right now.
Okay.
We will have a divisional round offensive lineman touchdown. And I'll go with Yash, assuming it will be him. But
I was trying really hard to focus on what you were saying, Eli, but this comment was making me laugh too much, so I was having a tough time focusing.
Funny. It's not even funny.
It's not funny. It's your brand, so it makes me laugh.
All right, but let's take a quick look at Jordan Love. What you guys?
Everyone's just picking on Zach.
Oh,
This is bullshit.
All right, Zach. We're coming away from that second half. Your thoughts on Jordan Love?
Sorry, I wish I could throw certain comments up on the screen, but like I said at the beginning, I don't have the login information. Jacob,
I thought you usually do. Don't most weeks you haven't?
I do, but at some point in the last
he got
couple of
signed
weeks,
out last week.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but
Jen,
anyways,
what?
do you have it, Jen?
No.
Do you? Okay, good. So I have all the power. Love it. Okay, go ahead. Well, me and Aaron.
Oh, I thought you were.
Great.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I coughed, and I thought you were asking like, do you have it?
No, but back to Mr.
I was like,
Love.
no, I'm fine.
Oh God, Zach's getting tortured right now.
I know Andrew is in the. I can't see him because again I'm
He's
not logged
laughing,
in. But I know he's in
like
the
full
background
body
giggling.
chuckling at you.
Yeah, like a fucking schoolgirl. Anyways, I think the Jordan Love we saw on Sunday was not the same Jordan Love that we saw in Kansas City back in November.
Yeah.
He looked a lot more poised, and some of the throws, the very few throws that he made, a lot more accurate. He wasn't as skittish in the pocket, and I think that also means it's also a credit to Matt LaFleur because he dialed up some easy stuff for Jordan Love, some quick hitting stuff that's going to get his confidence up, and he was playing with confidence, and I feel like that game in Kansas City and what we saw at the very end against the Vikings a couple weeks ago, and then what we saw at Ford Field, little building blocks towards the future, small steps, in the process. Like we've talked about this so many times, but this whole thing is a process, the whole development of a quarterback, and the Packers are going to be patient along the way. I don't think, as funny and as crazy as it would be, I don't think they're going to trade Jordan Love because of what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers the last 2 years, but they have a competent backup behind them. I don't know if he can win them games. I really don't know. But, what we're seeing right now, it's a process. And we're at the very beginning of that process. And every single snap that he takes in a meaningful regular season game, he's working towards, possibly becoming something special. But these are just small steps in the right direction.
Yeah. I agree. It's much like Rodgers having that one half against Dallas in 2007. You're not seeing a lot, but you're seeing improvement. Jen, what did you think?
Sorry, I was going to say that too. We haven't seen that, for what it's worth. We haven't seen that type of performance from Jordan Love yet. We haven't seen anything that makes us, that makes us go like, hey, that's the guy.
Yeah,
like we saw from Aaron Rodgers in Dallas.
Yeah, because after that season, I was pretty confident. I mean, I did like Rodgers anyway, but I remember just my family in shambles after the Favre retirement, and all I could think about was that second half against Dallas, saying we don't know for sure, but it looked like something real to me, and obviously it worked out. But Jen, what did you think about Love on Sunday?
No, I was gonna say he did have that really good drive at the end of the game, which it could have been a game-winning drive if Lions wouldn't have gone down and scored, but he did put together some really good drives at the end of the game. I just think, like Zach said, it's stepping stones. I fully believe in the wait and develop instead of, draft a guy and then start him right away. I think that's kind of unfair to a quarterback to throw him into that situation. We don't see it work out a lot. So yeah, it sucks that, as an athlete, he doesn't want to sit, I'm sure, but it's really beneficial to his game to, be able to take that time to transition into it. And I also think, I don't think it was a bad performance, but I also don't think that every time Jordan Love steps on that field, we need to make a decision at that point, which a lot of people feel the need to do, where it's,
tweets I see.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, because you're the only person who thinks that, I'm sure.
I am actually.
No, but I will say that
I'm not Eli. I don't steal your tweets.
Wow. low blow. But,
You can't even fight me on that one.
I could fight everyone on everything. But I was going to say that there were way too many people. Like, you know me, I want Aaron Rodgers to play for the Packers forever. But the amount of those, I mean, there are just people on Twitter that so badly want him to be bad that even if you made a good play, they'll find something wrong with it. Like that throw to Tyler Davis that should have been caught for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was a nice throw. I mean, that was on the run. He perfect touch. Was it perfect right in the arms? Maybe not. But it hit Davis in both his hands.
It was like a hair too high.
Yeah, a tiny bit, whatever. Not even, because he had to get it over the defender. It was a pretty.
But also, like a
And
more so starting tight end probably makes that catch.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Davis hasn't taken a lot of reps either, so you kind of have to put that into consideration as well.
I think for being on the run and in the corner of the end zone, that little right by the pylon. I mean, that was a pretty goddamn good throw. Like you said, not perfect, but I mean that's in those circumstances from a second year freaking quarterback who hasn't seen the field that much. I mean, that's a goddamn good throw, and Tyler Davis needs to make that catch. It hits him square in the hands. There's no
hit him in the hands. That's the most important thing. So I went on Twitter and I just mentioned, that was a great throw, whatever it was. Davis should have caught it. And I got pretty obliterated in the comments. Terrible throw, terrible throw. It was way behind him. It was too high. It was this, it was that. And it's just like, at the end of the day, yes, Jennings would have probably caught it. But he's on the Packers, and whether he ends up being the starter in the future, doesn't end up being a starter in the future, oh, God.
Did Andrew put that up by accident?
Yeah, that wasn't me.
At the end of the day, he's a Packer, and I just don't get why people would actively root against him. It was kind of like Jen, with Kevin King, the way you felt, how people were just hoping for him to fail. There's no point in hoping he fails. If he ends up on another team and you want to hate him, go ahead and hate him.
You want Jordan Love to succeed because either he's going to be your future or he's trade bait. You want him to be as good as possible. You don't want him to fail. I mean, as just a fan of a person, like, you shouldn't root for Jordan Love to fail anyways, but it also is really beneficial for a lot of reasons for him to perform well. So, I don't know. People just live for negativity, and it doesn't matter what people do. I mean, he could have gone like 23 for 24, and people would be bad about that one incompletion. It doesn't matter.
They want him to fail because they want why they want their stupid opinions and feelings validated, because they want to be the ones that say, I told you so. I told you it was a stupid move to draft him. I told you this. I told you that. They just want their opinions to feel validated.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. And you see people like that every single time Jordan Love steps on the field. And like Jen said, like I said,
like Jen said, because Zach said, which I didn't steal that directly from you.
I'm just kidding. I'm just tugging your tail. There doesn't need to be some kind of grand proclamation every single time he drops back to throw the goddamn football. Like every pass attempt he makes isn't going to be like, okay, well, that means he's going to suck. He overthrew his guy and threw an interception to end the game. He's going to be garbage. That's terrible. Yeah. And I'm also not saying he's going to be a future All-Pro, a future Hall of Famer, and the Packers are going to have freaking 60 years of going from Favre to Rodgers to Love. I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, we just got to be patient. We got to ride this whole goddamn thing out.
Yeah,
it's so freaking early.
For me, look, yes, I'm saying if he never becomes, let's say, the starter or becomes great in this, that, will we look back at the draft and say, what if, or this, that? Maybe, but it is what it is at this point. But
look at how many other like top tier draft picks have gone on and done nothing.
Of course. I mean, they're busts every single year, but
like Trevor Lawrence is down there playing in Jacksonville doing nothing. Like,
put that other comment up, please. I saw you, Andrew. I saw you put that one up on accident.
But my point was saying that look, at the very worst, if the Packers have a serviceable backup, it would be the first time we've had that since Matt Flynn, and we saw the value that Matt Flynn has had at times. So there's nothing wrong with that if that's what it is. So again, you know me, I want Aaron Rodgers to play forever. And Jordan Love, if you're a great backup, great. If you're a great trade bait, great. If you end up becoming the quarterback for us and you're good, great. We'll see what happens. Too early to tell. Let's move past that meaningless game and get to some
We
quick.
do also, I mean, hurts my heart to mention it, but we do also have to mention Devante Adams becoming the lead receiver in yardage for the Packers.
Yes. Devante is knocking down records.
Or no, a season. Like in a season. Yeah.
Single season, yeah.
Most catches, most yards in a single season in Packer history. I mean, I think Devante Adams can potentially, not that I want this, but, retire tomorrow and be a Hall of Famer. He's just that good.
What's wrong with you?
I know. Well, you know what I mean. He's a Hall of Famer.
You've got 3 more wins, Eli.
Okay, fine.
Can't retire now.
In 3 weeks, he can retire and become a Hall of Famer. But either way,
that's such a mean tagline. Hey, I'm happy for him. Jordy texted him right after, so we're all happy for him. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I'm not spiteful. It's just one of those things that it hurts a little bit, but I love Devante, and he's very well deserving of it. And it was only a matter of time because he's ridiculous. Okay, knock it off, Riley. I don't even want to look at that comment.
This is like that meme, where the guy's wearing the mask and he's smiling, and behind him there's tears running down his face.
Yeah.
Oh, now look who's stealing tweets. I posted that exact thing that day.
Oh, I figured I saw it somewhere.
Or like the video where it's like, congratulations.
Yeah, and you got
like,
me, by the way.
There's an account called All Reaction Vids.
By the way, I have to
follow,
admit,
and that's where I get a lot of my videos from.
You coincidentally posted it like not long after
I stole that page.
You act like you're the only buddy who knows any kind of funny meme or anything like that.
I stole it from you. I didn't know All Reaction Vids, and then I got it from you two. Very good page to follow, so thank you for that. But one last thing before we get to an important ad read, and then we'll get to a few more things after that. Josiah DeGuara, that was a pretty awesome touchdown. I thought he looked. I mean, I know it was a screen, but he broke a tackle or two, and then I just thought the speed, like he had pretty damn. Like I don't know if Robert Tonyan, like there was a big gap, but he might have been caught on that one. Like DeGuara put on some serious speed. Am I wrong? Was he in like the top 5 fastest miles per hour this week? I think I saw an article.
I was gonna say you could look on next gen stats and see.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing anything, but
according to my season predictions way back at the beginning of the season, my breakout player was Josiah DeGuara. So
boom. So we're gonna look back at our season predictions from before week 1, right after Zach hits us with a beautiful Our Tech Ventures ad read that I've been waiting personally for 2 weeks for, and I'm really needing it. So
I feel like you guys hype this up as like a big joke, and I'm just the only one that's not in on it. Like you're pretending to support me, and actually
no, like when you weren't here, people missed the ad read. Like people only watch for the ad read at this point.
See, look at this. We got Our Tech going all over the place.
Our Tech, Our Tech better fucking pay me. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by Our Tech Ventures. The goal at Our Tech Ventures is to collaborate closely with founders throughout all the investment and fundraising stages, turning their visions into successful companies. Since the year 2020, Our Tech Ventures has helped turn great ideas into profitable businesses that make an impact on industries, communities,
and beyond. To infinity and beyond with Our Tech Ventures. Thank you, as always, Our Tech, for sponsoring this show. And as I mentioned right before, the wonderful ad read by Zach, which we all love so much.
I'm sweating.
Prior to week 1, we had some predictions, feelings about the season. I'll be honest, I only glanced. Oh, God. I'm going to get taxed for no reason. All right. Either way.
Oh, I'm trying to keep it together.
Energy and passion. I'm literally sweating. It's ridiculous.
You did.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you feel bad about that? But all right. So starting off with our record prediction, me and Jen hit it right on the head at 13-4. Zach, I'll be honest. I wish you were right because I wanted 14 wins. I did not want to lose. I would have taken the L on that, but
if they just beat the goddamn Lions, then I would have been fucking right on. But
Or the
whatever.
Saints,
By
or
the
the
way,
Vikings, or the Chiefs.
Do either
Right.
of you get
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
frustrated
You're welcome.
that Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like he's going to be a freaking star? And no offense to EQ, I've been a fan of his, but let's just be real. It doesn't look like it's going to be the same way for him. It's very frustrating to me.
Hey,
I think EQ
I
has a
didn't
lot
say
more
he's-
competition, though.
He
You
does
know,
have more-
Amon-Ra has an easier wide receiver room to break out in. EQ has a little bit tougher time.
No,
Love
this
you,
is
Thanks,
true.
Matt.
love you, Matt.
Matt's a smart man. I believe everything he says.
Oh,
Matt,
whatever.
thank you for coming through, Matt. But yeah, look, I love EQ. It's hard to see his younger brother do so damn well.
Well, and
when
EQ had injuries too. That kind of.
but I mean, what, we're in year 4? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to
I'm
be
just
an
saying
ass.
there was time for other guys to step up. Like if EQ doesn't get hurt, maybe we don't get Lazard the way that we do.
True.
So
By the way, I mean, can we all agree? I mean, I think Alan Lazard is a surpassed MVS, healthy or not, as the clear wide receiver 2 on this team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Everything he does, he wins. I mean, he doesn't create much separation, but I mean, he wins his routes with physicality. His hands have gotten
when
so much better.
When he caught that third down pass, that quick slant with his, that was like, and then the week before versus Minnesota, when he had that hands catch diving with the contact from behind and he held on, he's just showing that he can be relied upon in a lot of ways that he was not necessarily even earlier this year, let alone last year and the year before. But yeah, seeing Alan Lazard's rise is pretty awesome. And this is going to be a little, as Zach said, and I copied, off the cuff, but we wanted to
You
look at
son of a bitch.
yeah,
whatever that means, you and your California lingo.
It means off script. You're ad libbing pretty much.
I don't think I've ever heard that until today, and you both
never
said
heard
it.
that?
I don't
don't
Well,
think
maybe
so,
if you were
no.
living in an igloo, you would have heard it.
I don't live in an igloo.
No, there's no
Just-
proof to that. But we're gonna go
I
through.
mean,
You know,
An
You
igloo
can have
can't
a
have
nice
this,
igloo.
even though my igloo would probably have better internet than you.
my internet's good right now. Is it really not?
Right now, no, it's fine right now for
Thank you.
once.
Very good. Thank you, Mark, in the comments. But all right, so we're looking back at the season. We'll just do some, I don't know if it's superlatives or not, whatever it is, but favorite game, favorite moment, biggest breakout player, maybe biggest disappointment, just some stuff like that. So, Jen, why don't you kick us off? What was your favorite
Oh,
game of the
gosh.
year to watch?
Don't say what I'm gonna say.
I think we're all
can't-
the same answer.
I can't think. Probably just because I was there. I really like the Bears Sunday night game. That night games at Lambeau, they're just different, especially against a division team like that. That one was a lot of fun for me for personal reasons, but I don't know what you guys were gonna say. I had to think. I can't even remember like any of the games. I have such horrible memory. So what happens when we go off the cuff or whatever? Can't think.
They're tearing Eli's ass up in the comments. I'm just
I
saying.
know. I don't know it's every week, by the way. I get by far the most hate in the comments.
Good, you deserve it.
I hear that. That's fair.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
It is humbling and it's deserved. It is deserved. Zach, how about you? Number one, I'm seeing some Bulls hate in here. Bulls are the best team in basketball right now, so everyone calm yourself.
My Bulls. Yeah.
Basketball's
I agree.
stupid.
It
Anyways.
is really stupid. But Zach, what was your number one game this year for the Packers?
The 49ers game. Yeah. I feel like just the whole, how can you not be romantic about football? The whole last second, heroics. It was just a good game. It was a good game throughout. And they went back, to Levi Stadium and they I know they were there last year, but I mean, the 49ers were decimated by injuries. That wasn't even really, they were going up against their freaking practice squad. So they went back this year. The 49ers are relatively healthy and, they won at the last second. And that's a team that they could end up seeing at some point in the playoffs.
The team I do not want to see, for the record, which we'll get to. I do not want to freaking see that team.
I agree.
But that would have been my answer. But to change it up, I had a close second, and that would be the Arizona game. Going into Arizona, Thursday Night Football. Cardinals were undefeated at that point. And, of course, the way it ended, Rasul Douglas, just days earlier, being a part of the Cardinals practice squad, coming back with the game-winning interception that kind of set him off into stardom. I mean, yeah, we can't get into another Rasul Douglas tangent because we could all just keep going because the guy's just been so unreal. But yeah, I think that would be, if not the 49er game, I think I would go with Arizona. But how about this, Zach, your biggest breakout player, someone who really surprised you with his performance this year?
I would say Dean Lowry.
Ah, you bitch. You stole both my answers. That was my answer. Okay, go ahead.
We're Eli, we're connected, man. We're connected.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been like a game wrecker or anything, but like he is risen to the moment when the Packers like need him to, you know, and I don't know how many sacks in his last, certain amount of games, but I mean, he's second on the team in sacks right now. Well, no, third. But I mean, guys that other than Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary, it's Dean Lowry's right there. He has more than Kenny Clark. He hasn't, he hasn't affected the game as much as Kenny Clark has, because obviously Kenny Clark is just totally different. But I mean, Dean Lowry, he's been in the league since 2016. He cashed in, got that big extension, and then just kind of like fell off a cliff. But I mean, now he's like, I think it was Zach Cruz that tweeted it. Like, he's finally realizing that he's a big dude, that he has all kinds of power. He's strong and he's using it. And he's like he is consistently ending up in the backfield. So he's definitely been the most pleasant surprise for me.
And also his ability to knock the ball down at the line of scrimmage has been underrated.
Yeah, he's batted a ton of passes down. Yeah,
batted a ton of balls. Love that. Jen, how about you? Who has surprised you the most this year in a positive way?
I think I'm gonna have to go with AJ Dillon. I mean, with Noah Jamal this year, he really stepped up, and not just as a backup to Aaron Jones, he came in and they were like a 1A, 1B tandem. So it was really fun to see him get a lot of reps and both of them go over 1,000 yards. It's just like that tandem is amazing, but AJ Dillon has really stepped up, and not just in the run game, but in the pass game. And he's just become just another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. And it's been a lot of fun to see him go. And I'm excited for cold weather AJ Dillon games throughout the playoffs. Yeah,
Dillon has been everything we hoped for out of that second round pick. Everyone at PFF can go cry themselves to sleep. And for me,
which we should probably say, I don't know. I thought you went already.
Oh no, go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say we should mention who we thought and then who we would say now. So, but after you say yours, well,
yeah. So I probably would have went with Lowry, but I'm actually going to go with Eric Stokes. I think for him to do what he did as a rookie, like not only has it's kind of been, no one really talks about him, which is a good thing when you're in the secondary. That means you're doing your job. But we've also seen when people do talk about him, and it's always positively because of his speed and his coverage. As great as Jair Alexander obviously is incredible and he's a better player and all that, but I just don't know if I remember seeing someone so consistently being stuck to their guy the way Stokes is. He's like within a yard of his receiver and every play. He might not always make the play on the ball. He needs to work a bit better when the ball's in the air, all that. But he does not get burnt. He does not get juked out of his shoes. He is just always there. Really, really impressive. And as Jen said, we could do a quick run through on who we thought our breakout player would be. And I'll kick us off. I had Rashawn Gary, so I kind of knocked that one out of the park because, by the way, no consideration for him at Pro Bowl or anything else. It's one of those things where it's a year too early. I'm sure next year he'll get it. But Rashawn Gary is fully broken out. He's a star. You see his numbers compared to Zadarius Smith's numbers in 2019. They're nearly identical. We all know what Z did in 2019. So I had Rashawn Gary. I don't know if you guys have your list up. If not, I could say it for you.
Yeah, I have the list pulled up.
Zach said DeGuara. So, Jen, who did you have?
I had MVS, which isn't a horrible pick. I think he made huge strides in his game too. But, he missed some time. So that kind of skews with that a little bit. But, I don't know if I'd say he was the breakout player, but he's definitely like trending upwards. So
yeah, for sure. And then looking at, let's see, let's do one more, and let's go with an unsung hero for the team.
Mine was Kevin King.
Oh, Jen. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, he did when he had to step up. He did play well, so my faith in Kevin King still rides high. But I mean, he wasn't out there taking every snap. I mean, unsung hero has to go to probably Douglas, but we didn't know at the time that we were going to have Douglas. So how would we have ever known? But I don't know. I'm so proud. I know I should.
Terrible.
What was I thinking? But Kevin King, he stepped up when he needed to, and I'm proud of him.
Who did I do?
Somebody has to be.
I did, by the way. I'm just reading this now, and I remember. So that show where we did our predictions, I actually missed that show.
Yeah, that's why there's like 1,000 notes. On yours.
So what I did Royce Newman and saying that he would slide into that G spot real well.
I remember you made a note like say it exactly like this.
Yeah. So, but it worked out. I mean, Royce Newman, it started off a bit shaky, but I think by the end of the year, for being a rookie, definitely was better than we could have hoped. But looking back at the end of the year, I would probably say John Runyon is the unsung hero, just being as solid and consistent as it could possibly be for a second-year player. You never heard his name. And again, as an offensive lineman, if you're not hearing your name, that means you're doing your job. So that's good. And Zach, who did you have?
Well, I mean, you tell me. Who did I pick?
Oh, you know what? You made
Alan Lazard.
That actually would apply because he's the goon. Yeah. He does everything in the running game. If I had to pick somebody now,
who do you pick now?
I would pick Lucas Patrick.
Let's go.
He had a rough week 1, and he was benched for John Runyon. And what?
No, I was agreeing. Yeah.
Oh, he was benched for John Runyon, and he kind of didn't have a spot in the lineup until some injuries started kind of piling in. Josh Myers dropped 4 snaps into that game in Chicago. 4 snaps in, sorry. And he stepped in. I mean, he's played left guard, center, and right guard for the Packers this season. And he has played 527 snaps in pass protection, and he hasn't given up a single sack. He's one of 2 guys, him and Josh Myers, who haven't given up a sack this season. Granted, Myers has played significantly less. So 911 snaps overall for Lucas Patrick. And you don't really see, I mean, he's had his issues in the running game, but in pass protection, I mean, you're not seeing anyone really talk about this guy. You have not said his name. He has just been doing his job, and he has been doing it really, really well. And he's just been really good. And it's a testament to obviously Adam Stenavich and Luke Butkus and that whole offensive line room. But yeah, Lucas Patrick definitely. I mean, there's a reason that he is already penciled in as one of the 5 starters for the playoffs. He is fantastic. And Matt LaFleur went on a big tangent about him yesterday or the day before. And it was the day before, sorry. And yeah, he's definitely someone that doesn't get enough credit. And I feel like kind of people laugh at the whole like, Lucas Patrick. I mean, Lucas freaking Patrick. He's not David Bakhtiari. Yeah, he's not David Bakhtiari. He's not Elton Jenkins. But this guy is as reliable as you need him to be. He's just such a big asset. With all the injuries they've had, he's been like a constant.
Yeah.
Which in that same regards, you could say Yash is an unsung hero. I mean, you don't have David Bakhtiari at the beginning of the year, and then you also lose Elton Jenkins. So you basically have a 3rd string left tackle coming in, matching up with some of the best pass rushers in the league and leaving their names off the stat sheet, basically. So yeah, I think there's a lot of unsung heroes.
There really are.
Which is a huge testament to the adversity that this team has faced and how well they've been able to do so. So that's what makes it fun this year, especially, is just all these guys. You get Devante Campbell stepping up, you pick up Rasul Douglas, and he's being amazing, and you get these 2nd and 3rd string offensive linemen out there producing. So yeah, I mean, a lot of unsung heroes. It's really hard to just pick one, but I was wrong with mine.
No, but it's definitely true. And a lot of these guys ended up playing due to injury. And speaking of those injuries, I don't know, forget the Packers. I mean, in my time watching any football, I don't know the last time a team is going to be getting the number of people and the caliber of players that the Packers are about to get back healthy, God willing, all that, for the playoffs. Looking at David Bakhtiari, who played Sunday, Josh Myers, who played Sunday, Randall Cobb, who could have played Sunday, Zadarius Smith, who's just been cleared practice today for the first time since week 1, And then you got Billy Turner, who is looking more and more likely to return for the playoffs.
And Jair.
And of course, yes. And I knew I'd forget that. There's so many that, yeah.
And he also, like Bakhtiari and Myers, he probably would have played on Sunday. You know, he was coming off the COVID list. He only got one practice in, so I understand why they sat him. But yeah, that's another guy that's going to be back.
So we're looking at 6 high-level players, and a handful of those guys aren't just high-level. We're talking about all-pro players coming back right in time for the playoffs. I mean, I don't know if you could dream up a better scenario for the Packers. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. Where do you put guys? We know we've had this discussion many times about Jair. What do we do with him? I think we've come to the conclusion of putting him in the slot, the star position. Chandon Sullivan maybe playing a little bit less. My question is, because Za'Darius was the biggest question kind of coming into all of this, with him now cleared and looking very possible to be ready for the divisional round, how do you go about lining up that front four, Zach, with Z now back in the mix?
You put Za'Darius Smith back at that rover position where you have him playing kind of like, you know, beside Kenny Clark. You got Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith on the edges, Za'Darius Smith at the interior, and you let him do what he does best. Pick whichever. What is happening? What are you laughing at?
I'm literally laughing because I'm just thinking about a line of Preston Smith, Za'Darius Smith, Kenny Clark, and Rashawn Gary.
You're such a goddamn liar. That's not what you're smiling over there.
I really was. It's
really
just crazy.
It made you start giggling.
Yes, it's crazy. It just made me.
Okay, but I have a. Oh, are you not done with your?
You can see the
point?
comments.
No, Jen. As a matter of fact, I'm not done.
I'm sorry. Then keep talking.
I'm sorry.
I have the power to kick you out of here, and you can't come back in. So I'd watch what you're saying.
Do it. You would be doing me a favor. Kick.
Oh.
All right. Perfect. Now we can get to what we really want to talk about.
Get to business. Oh, you're back.
Anyways, you let him play at that rover position that he's so familiar with, and he chooses whichever gap to attack. And I mean, I feel like that's where he's best. And then you can rotate him in on the edge, whoever needs to come out. You know, so many flexibilities.
Yeah.
So many possibilities.
Yeah,
with that
so many
flexibility.
flexibilities. Exactly.
Sorry, I got kicked, so my whole train of thought just kind of got thrown out.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask, and this one, Zach, I actually am taking from. I saw something on your Twitter feed, so I want to ask it just, you know, to both of you. Do you think that we see Za'Darius play at all? Like, is this just wishful thinking, him coming back, or is it just kind of both of you?
Okay.
I mean, either of you can answer. I mean, like, I'm talking, like, somebody answer it so I don't look so stupid.
I think he starts slow, rotationally and whatever, but as long as his back doesn't get aggravated or flare up or anything, I don't see why he doesn't ease himself into the divisional round. We kick whoever's ass it is that we're playing, and then by championship game, I don't think he's going to be playing 80% of snaps, but I think we're going to see him a pretty healthy amount.
If you can get 30 snaps from Za'Darius Smith in his return, or 20 to 30, whatever, then that's fine. That is totally fine. 20 snaps of Za'Darius Smith is totally okay. I think right now, if the medical staff is clearing him to practice, knowing how this medical staff is, and, you know, they're evaluating him, and he's tweeting all this shit about being back, then I feel like at this point, he has to be fully cleared after all this time. They have to feel comfortable about letting him out there. Matt LaFleur is just talking about, you know, getting him into game shape, making sure he's up to speed with the defense, because he only has 18 snaps in this defense under his belt from that season opener. So getting him up to speed with the defense and, you know, a live game atmosphere, getting him into football shape, as Matt LaFleur likes to say, that's going to be the biggest obstacle. Not whether or not, you know, he can stay healthy, just making sure he can withstand the environment of a game, the tempo of a game, how tumultuous it is.
Yeah.
I only asked because I saw your tweet, Zach, about like mentally preparing for like what we saw as his last snap, but sometimes I can't tell if you're being serious or not, so I didn't know if that was like a joke or if that was a serious like mindset. Can't always tell with you.
It's the power of mystery. No, I mean, I had convinced myself the last few months that was it. That there was no way they were going to let him back unless something crazy, unforeseen happens and he makes these great strides. And apparently he's done that. So he'll be back.
It's pretty incredible to see it. And Zach, I actually was laughing and smiling at the thought of that front four because
You're
I
such
just
a goddamn fucking liar.
What could it be? You look at the comments. Nothing to laugh at. I mean, there is stuff
Oh,
to
really?
laugh
What is there to laugh at? Really?
I know.
In the
There's a
comments? Are you
lot
kidding
going
me?
on.
The first thing I see is bring back Clay Matthews.
Yeah. All right, that's funny.
I look at the comments. I
From
see Zach.
Todd.
Let your fans get a quick giggle.
Yeah, well, I was just excited about that front four, but I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to be playing a crap ton, but he'll be playing enough to get back into a rhythm. And then looking at that divisional round, let's do a quick look at the wild card rounds. So the Packers have 4 possible teams they could face. They could play the San Francisco 49ers, the Cardinals, the Rams, or the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, of those 4 teams, I think it is fair to say the least likely they will see is the Eagles. They're playing the Bucks. It is just very unlikely we see the Eagles. So looking at the NFC West, which we swept the NFC West this year. We beat all 3 of those teams in the playoff, not in the playoffs, in the regular season. But which team would scare you the most between the Niners, Rams, and Cardinals, Jen?
Wait, which one would I want to see the most?
Yeah, which would scare you the most?
Which one
Which would
scares
scare
you?
me the most?
Like terrified.
I don't know. I don't know. They're all kind of almost on like an even playing field aside from the Eagles, which, wild card teams got to be careful with anyways. But I don't know. My gut tells me Rams, just because when we first saw them, they were kind of getting new pieces. Like now OBJ has had some time, Von Miller has had some time. So they've got guys who are a little bit more acclimated with that team. I think they're a pretty complete team. Stafford obviously knows the Packers very well, so there could be that kind of vengeance. I don't know. I think I'm not like afraid. I just think that they have, out of all of them, the most complete team, I'd say. I don't know. I know you guys were mentioning 49ers, but I don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't scare me too much. So, but I mean, Debo would be a tough guy to cover. So them it'd be more run game. Yeah, I didn't say it was because of Stafford, Jacob, but Stafford being an average quarterback with really good talent around him. I mean, you kind of look at what we could be dealing with, and that's why getting Jair back is super important, because if you end up having to play the Rams, you would have Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. So those are important guys to cover. So yeah, I think Rams would be, in my opinion, the toughest matchup, but I don't care who comes to Lambeau. They're packing up and leaving anyways, so it doesn't matter.
All right, I like the confidence. Zach, how about you? What team are you trying to avoid?
Definitely the 49ers. I know Jimmy Garoppolo isn't shit, but he can make the throws. And that's the difference it makes. And the 49ers also run the ball really, really well. Packers run defense struggled in the last quarter of the season. And yeah, I feel like they're built to beat the Packers. I'm not saying they will, because obviously playing in the cold is totally different. Like, for example, if the Rams come to Green Bay again for the 3rd time in the last calendar year, Matthew Stafford is going to revert to Tim Rattay. He is going to be, no.
Stafford, as Jacob once said.
See, I would definitely be more
nice.
nervous if we had to go out to San Francisco, just because obviously not very good history out on your guys' side of the country. But I mean, it's a different game having them come here.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess
what is
so.
it? Always with the pen, Eli.
It is
Talk
what
about your
it is.
vape pen.
I got stressed out, all right? What can you say? We're talking about the playoffs. It's a stressful time. But
You need to get your shit together, man.
it's far from together. But, yeah, so you had the Rams, you had the Niners. I mean, the Niners, I'm kind of with you on that, but to do differently, the Cardinals, I mean, and for one reason only, it's just still the trauma of a mobile quarterback. I know we beat them, and we beat them in Arizona, and we beat them without Devante. So there is reason to believe we could easily, and they're a dome team coming to Green Bay. We should be able to beat them. But at the same time, Kyler Murray, he just scares me. Just when We saw it even against Justin Fields and Tyler Huntley a few weeks ago. You think you have a sack, you think you have a good defense called, and these guys, they just get away from it, and all of a sudden it's backyard football, and someone just springs open deep, and that's when you get into some trouble. DeAndre Hopkins, I saw, is likely going to miss this week, could be back next week. So I would like to avoid – I really want to avoid the Niners, but I would also like to avoid Kyler Murray and his legs.
Yeah. He runs like a badass 10-year-old. Like he can cause problems, and I'm surprised that he didn't cause them even more so when the Packers went to Arizona a couple months ago. But yeah, Arizona would be a scary team to play. I feel like there's that advantage of playing in Green Bay. So guys like him are kind of slowed down by the cold, so they're not as fast, they're not as elusive, they're not as big of factors. But I hope it's not the Cardinals, because then that means the Packers will have played every NFC West team in the playoffs in the last 3 years.
I think Cardinals are also getting JJ Watt back, which
apparently, because
people who aren't Badger fans probably don't care, but I'm happy for him. So
yeah, well, he's a total cornball. So he reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson in terms of like,
don't put them in the same.
I'm sorry, but isn't Russell Wilson from Wisconsin too?
No, well, he played like 1 year there.
He went to Wisconsin.
He's not from Wisconsin. JJ Watt is like born and raised.
I know,
Wisconsin
but I'm talking
boy.
About playing college though. So like they
went on at Wisconsin.
Maybe there's something in the water up there in Wisconsin that just makes him corny as hell. I just feel JJ Watt always knows where the cameras are. Yeah. And him and his corny catchphrases. I swear to God. But whatever.
At least he didn't make some like stupid corny video.
No. He probably will when he's cleared to return.
His would be more justified though. He's missed like the entire year, and he's actually a badass, where it's like Russell Wilson is just some dork. Like
Russell Wilson is a dork. There's no doubt in that. And his Mr. Unlimited video will forever be the most uncomfortable video in creation.
He's such a bro.
Which, okay, but the greatest return video ever was obviously David Bakhtiari's. That was a good one. Yeah, I like that one. That's like the funny kind of stupid corny that's also very well done.
Yeah, no, he did it right.
He pulled the Michael Jordan at the end. I'm back.
I've been back. Exactly.
That's how you do it.
69 just gets it done. That's the bottom line.
Come on.
But yeah, it is what it is. All right, so let's do. We can't do score predictions for this week. So let's do this instead. Let's do opponent predictions. I know we just said who we don't want to play. But looking at the wild card weekend and the matchups and all that, who do you actually think the Packers do play in 2 weeks from Sunday or possibly Saturday? I hope it's Sunday though, please. Zach.
I think I'm going to say I'm thinking. Jesus.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were waiting for Jen.
As much as I would love the Eagles to beat the Buccaneers, I just don't think that's happening. I think it's going to be the Rams. I think the Rams come back to Green Bay again for the third time. And yeah, that's my prediction.
All right.
That was kind of where I was leaning towards.
Why?
Did you say why?
No, that's not what I said.
Are you making fun of me? I don't know. I get that intuition from I don't know if, Cardinals Rams, it'll be a really, really close matchup. But I guess I see it being one of those two teams. I think that, Dallas playing the 49ers, I see the 49ers losing that one. So I think that we definitely get Cardinals or Rams. And I think that out of that matchup, I think Rams are the better team. So therefore Rams.
I would normally go with both of you on this, but Matthew Stafford simply just cannot win games that matter. It just seems like he can't manage to do it. So unless the Cardinals completely just shit the bed, I think they're going to get out of that game with a win. So I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals. And as much as I don't want to see them, doesn't scare me too much because, for all the reasons I said before, we beat them without Devante in Arizona. But all right, those are our predictions for this upcoming wild card week. And yeah, Packers finish the season 13-4. The season's far from over, but everyone who has been with us through the first ever 18-week NFL season, we appreciate every single one of you. and we are looking forward to keeping that going for the next, what is it, probably about 5 weeks up until the middle of February, when we do our final score prediction for the Super Bowl with the Packers in it, of course. So everyone, before we head out,
Well, we have to promote
we
something quickly
absolutely.
before you sign us off.
I know, I'm looking. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Make sure to hit that link. Oh, even better. Forget what I did.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so nice.
Look at this beautiful merch that you can go and get. Open book. I mean, look, the different colors. You got a hoodie, you got a crop top, you got a crew neck. I have already bought the open book hoodie, and I now have bought 2 of the open book Beautiful People Show merchandise, and I'm going to buy the mug as well. I'm buying all of it. It's all amazing. It's super comfortable. Make sure to get it for yourself. Get it for your loved ones. Everyone will enjoy it. And until next week, everyone, enjoy the bye week. Best team in football, #1 seed. Enjoy watching football that doesn't fully matter, the Packers, and rest up. We'll see you next week, everybody. Oh, and real quick, sorry, before we go, make sure to follow everybody.
I was just out of it today.
I missed
worst sign off of the year.
Yeah, easily. Follow Jen on Twitter at BigMac_4. Make sure to follow Andrew at Mertens_Andrew. Zach at It's Zachariah J, where you'll find many memes that I still don't fully understand. And myself at Book of Eli_FL. Zach, you post a lot of confusing pictures of animals, cats mostly.
Like what? Like what? Name one.
Every time you post something, it's like a cat either crying or smiling, or it's
that's
Jen.
That's Jen? Oh, well, either way, I try to follow it. But
it's because I relate to sad cats these days, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Zach,
you're
it's
wrong.
like Zach posts the memes where it's like Horton here's a little bitch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of like aggressive, edited.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
Or Zach, like that
what
meme.
What is the Scooby-Doo one?
Oh, the Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I'm ready to die and go to hell.
Yeah.
Ready to die and go to hell. Exactly. That's a weekly...
Anytime something negative happens in a game.
Yeah. Let's hope we do not see Scooby-Doo for the next month plus on Zach's
You will.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Scooby-Doo till like March.
Well, you will. I'm letting you know right now.
Now I'm hungry because I'm thinking about Scooby-Doo. But okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in, everybody.
What's with this guy?
Because he eats a lot of food.
Oh my
before we
gosh.
go, make sure to check out the Freezer podcast every single week here on Game On Wisconsin on Monday.
No, we don't have the ad. We don't have the ad. We don't have the ad.
I was lying.
If you were in here like
I wasn't
4
here.
minutes before the show started, you would have known that. But
No, that was my bad.
I don't associate myself with these people, by the way. I'm just here. I'm a guest.
Yeah, Zach's ready to die and go to hell. We'll see you all next week, everybody. Enjoy the bye week. Go, Pack, go.
What you think, Fred? All right. Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. It's just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in.
yeah, they'll talk every once in a while.
Every now and then we'll kind
But he was already here
happened-
right away.
It kind of well, we're used to you attacking us, so
Yeah.
Sorry.
look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green